Superman has been a part of our culture for nearly a century. Kal-El has had 10 theatrical releases and dozens of TV shows up to this point. The Man of Steel might just be the most recognizable fictional character on this side of the planet, and yet, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle just surpassed Superman in the global box office in such a short amount of time. Just sit with that for a moment. If it wasn't clear before, Demon Slayer's success has signaled that anime is entering mainstream around the globe. Its days of being a niche are long gone. It is no exaggeration to say that anime is becoming more popular than ever before. And along with that hype train, no pun intended, there's gonna be plenty of new people, young or old, man or woman, past and future, curious about what makes anime so different than everything we've seen out west, while also having high expectations from Demon Slayer's polish. And as longtime readers and watchers, it's our recommendations that will affect our individual communities the most. So please, for the love of all things hand-drawn, don't throw somebody just starting anime straight into Naruto. Don't show them Hunter x Hunter, and don't even recommend Dandadan. You're setting people up for misplaced expectations and burnout. Poof! Momentum gone. I get it. Those were legitimately some of our first animes too. I know Naruto and Dragon Ball were mine, but we were introduced to those when we were kids. Our minds were already programmed to try new stuff, and we didn't mind the 80 episode arcs or filler every other week. We live in an era where there are more forms of entertainment than there are hours in a day, and for someone who was just hard launched into anime via Demon Slayer, they're just gonna be more interested in shows like well, I'll get to that later on in this video. First, I gotta give you the criteria on what makes a great anime rec, and then end with some honorable mentions and the strongest anime recommendations for new watchers. Hey, what's up y'all? Welcome to The Bread Show, a place where we give our anime and gaming opinions while doing a little bit of animated and gaming ourselves. And this week, I have to be back strong for all of these new anime watchers because this Demon Slayer movie is just going up. So we're gonna have a lot of new watchers and they need anime recommendations. So we're gonna have a lot of people who are interested on the fence and just plain new watchers, and they're gonna need some anime recommendations. And we can't let Crunchyroll do all the work for us. Let me know in the comment sections the first anime y'all have watched and whether or not you think it's a good first recommendation. Hopefully by the end of this video, I can convince you to hit that subscribe button and that like button because it really helps the channel out a lot. And let's get straight into this. Earlier, I gave examples of anime that don't make good first picks. Naruto's filler and episode count can definitely slow down the pace, and let's be for real, we can't give people watch guides off rip. What makes Hunter x Hunter genius is the fact that it subverts regular anime shonen tropes, so you would have to have some familiarity with shonen to understand that and appreciate it. And Dandadan, let's just be real. I love Dandadan as much as the next person, yes, but that show can be off its rocker at times, and we can't just throw people straight into that off rip. It's chaos from start to finish, especially that sub. And of course, Prison School, Food Wars, and High School DxD, and all the others are self-explanatory. Kids, do not watch Prison School, Food Wars, or High School DxD. The people need something to get them going quick. And anime has had crazy production levels for decades now, and that wow factor matters to newcomers.
Humankind cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. To obtain something of equal value must be lost. That is alchemy's first law of equivalent exchange. In those days, we really believed that to be the world's one and only truth.
You hear that? For all these people that have just seen these anime edits without even knowing the source, even they know this sounds fire. The theme of equivalent exchange and the fact that it shapes the whole show? Two children getting caught up in alchemy contracts they shouldn't have? Trying to rectify the kind of grief that would crush an adult in a way that only a kid would, and then they become the coldest 1-2 punch as they search for redemption? You can feel the guilt on Ed's shoulders every time he talks about Alphonse. Alphonse remains a good soul even though he was the innocent younger brother who lost all his memories and got done the absolute worst in the equation. And to make it even worse, they didn't even get what they originally wanted, what they had at the start. And that's just Ed and Alphonse. Everyone else they meet had their own weight on their shoulders. Again, no pun intended to Ed and Alphonse. Colonel Mustang avenging Mai's Hughes while losing his vision. Riza bearing the secrets of flame alchemy. Scar seeking vengeance for genocide. Everyone is looking for redemption by the same means the Philosopher's Stone, which makes for a climactic but satisfying ending. All in like 60 episodes. It's an experience. No filler, less than 100 episodes, no fan service, and widely regarded as one of the best, if not the best anime, period. New viewers or not. And that animation style, paired with a classic story, is timeless. And the good news is, it's already been reanimated. Wow, a lot of no puns intended. But yeah, it's been reanimated with the Brotherhood version. Let me think about this for a second. Yeah. With each rec, I'm gonna try to find like a different flaw because no anime is perfect, but it's been like 5 minutes and I can't come up with one. So I'm not gonna think about it too hard. This anime might just be perfect. Now, this next part hurts me and it might hurt some of y'all. So y'all might wanna sit down for this. This time last year, I decided to watch all of One Piece in order, start to finish, or current airings, I should say. Believe me, y'all, when I say this, my One Piece anime reaction series has been my most cherished series I've done on the channel so far, and we're coming up on 4 years in January. And it's because of the fact that I put an uber amount of time into watching all of these episodes and then doubling down on it and analyzing them and then doubling down on that and making video series about them. A short arc in One Piece is 12 episodes. That's longer than Promised Neverland Season 1. The longest arc is like 200 episodes. That's longer than Hunter x Hunter. I was legitimately watching 10 to 20 One Piece episodes per day to put the content out that I did on a weekly basis, and I gave myself a 3-month head start. And towards the middle and the end, I was still falling behind. I love One Piece, I really do. And only someone who loves it can watch it like that. But the one problem with arguably the greatest anime of all time is the pacing. And in a conversation about new anime watchers who might have felt uncomfortable with the amount of backstory in Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, One Piece might just be the worst place to start. On a semi-related note, I saw a TikTok about One Piece watchers being like the anime community Jehovah's Witnesses, and that shit almost took me out. And no disrespect, shout out to all the J Witnesses out there. I just thought the comparison was hilarious. I tried to get my girlfriend to watch One Piece, and she looked at me like I had 3 heads when she saw that episode count and saw that it was still going. She was convinced Oda was using us as a social experiment. I was trying to tell her that it was extremely good, but she wasn't trying to hear all that. I got her to watch 20 episodes though. This will be a long fight, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of the socials, here are the channel socials up on the screen right now. It's stream clips and exclusive content on there that you won't see. Just hit the follow button for me, please. But now, let's flip all of that to the show that's the opposite of One Piece. All the things that minorly annoyed me about the 2023 Jujutsu Kaisen craze is what makes it perfect for new anime watchers, and let me explain. JJK is the closest thing you can get to senseless violence in an anime. If a person can die, they will die in JJK. Lights, camera, action. The only flaw with a Jujutsu Kaisen anime recommendation for someone who's watching it for the first time, especially after coming off Demon Slayer, which is kind of what I was annoyed with back in 2023, is that the story part of the anime is kind of lacking when compared to its peers. It's really about boxing, so you gotta know your audience a bit before you make this recommendation. If high stakes death and aura farming don't exactly work on this potential convert, you might want to move on to something else. Don't even try to remember everybody's name, they won't be around for too long. Stepping into the Jujutsu Kaisen universe is like stepping into a gladiator's arena. Every episode is Rock Lee versus Gaara in the Chunin exams. Everybody has a move up their tattered sleeves that could sacrifice their future potential to box with a special grade for like half an episode and still lose. Oh, how'd she last this long? She only got a hammer. Man, he's such a chill guy. I wonder what happens to him. There's no way he loses. He's the strongest in the show, right? All questions answered immediately, and no guarantees you'll like how. There's a reason you don't see too many Jujutsu Kaisen deep dive analysis videos on YouTube, and I'll just leave it at that.
Demon Slayer was great, but I had too many backstories.
Oh yeah, watch this for me real quick. But anime isn't all about boxing. It's there for people who want to see that. Longtime viewers of the channel will know I read all of my comments. They come straight to my phone. I read all of them. But one comment I got from the Demon Slayer movie really got to me. Hopefully I can find it and put it on the screen. And one thing the commenter asked is, do Demon Slayer fights lack strategy? Is every fight just won with an emotional power-up? And frankly, I don't know the answer to that. Maybe that's a later video. But all that to say this, if you're looking for strategy, then Death Note is the perfect recommendation for you. If I had to recommend an anime to my mom, it would be Death Note easily. And I'd pitch it to her straight like this. Imagine Sherlock Holmes from the perspective of Professor Moriarty, who's trying to pose as Watson. Imagine Batman through the eyes of Ra's al Ghul. Or better yet, a game of cat and mouse, but as the story goes on, you're not entirely sure who's the cat and who's the mouse in any given moment. There are literal demons in this story, and somehow they're not the scariest thing. As a matter of fact, they sit back, grab a snack, and watch the humans go to work. At the introduction of the show, all Elle knows is that all of Kira's victims are criminals. They all died of heart attacks almost simultaneously, and there was no sign of physical contact or foul play. He was able to find out not only the fact that Kira existed, which in real life context, which they were in the beginning of the story, that's just a crazy thing to kind of even pose as a serious option, but he was able to find out what region of the world he lived in based on what news station he watched. With one move, Elle was able to narrow down Kira's location from the entire world to one region of a very small country, which is Japan. He proved that Kira could kill without touching. He learned that Kira needs to know someone's name and face in order to kill them, and also confirmed that Kira had a god complex. This scene alone lets everyone know the amount of mental gymnastics you're about to go through throughout the course of this 20 or 30, however many, not a lot of episodes in this anime. But not only that, there's a lot of morally ambiguous and philosophical questions that present themselves just based off the setting and theme. Light is the protagonist, but he's twisted. So is he the antagonist? Are we hoping he loses? Is Elle the protagonist? At what point, if any for some people, do we think Light went too far with his idealistic views? Should someone even have a power like that? If someone did have that power, what's their responsibility versus them overstepping? How many rights should/does a criminal have? And does that answer change based on the crime they commit? How much weight does the court of public opinion have on society? There's just so many questions that are posed within the first few episodes. Somebody is bound to get hooked just from the start of this show. And let's face it, they're all just interesting philosophical questions that become more and more relevant as social media intertwines itself in the most official processes that we have going on in the world, and not just reserved for leisure and entertainment. Truly a work ahead of its time. The only flaw with a Death Note recommendation is that yes, it kind of does drop off after a certain moment that I won't get into. But up to that point, you're locked in. And even after that drop off, it's still really good. It's just that drop off is legendary levels. It's just a shift in the air more so. All right, let's get a quick fire round of honorable mentions before we get to the #1 strongest recommendation for new anime watchers. First honorable mention, Promise Neverland Season 1. Just tell them to watch Season 1 as if that's the only season, because in my eyes, it is the only season. It still gives me the chills. It's only 10 episodes. I rewatched this one a lot. The timing from the introduction to the problem at hand is so quick. It's masterful. You get time to feel for the kids because you need to feel for the kids in this situation, but you don't know why yet. People get picked off as the episodes go by. Just gotta tell people to stop a little early. Parasite, I put on honorable mentions list. Parasite might have made the official list. I just haven't seen it yet. It just seems like the type that would really, like, you know, go well with new watchers, because it's like a Walking Dead apocalyptic kind of way. Dragon Ball Z. Yes, Dragon Ball Z is an honorable mention. I don't think it makes a list. There's a reason why Dragon Ball Z is still king nearly 50 years. That's half a century. There's a reason why DBZ is still king. People have kids and then start them early watching DBZ as like their first cartoon. There's no slow moments. There's always conflict, and these stories, these fights It's all legendary. Dragon Ball Z is underrated, even though it's highly rated. It's just a masterpiece. And the story beats are legendary. DBZ makes the honorable mentions list. When I was making this list, I was really juggling between Death Note and Cowboy Bebop on which one would make the official list. Obviously, I chose Death Note. I talked about that. Cowboy Bebop then falls to the honorable mentions list. This is a vibe. It will forever be a vibe. These hand-drawn cell animations are great. The music is great. It's only 20 some episodes after all of these decades, and the concept of space cowboys isn't exactly something that's foreign to people in the West. So if they're just trying to get into anime, maybe they're an older person, I don't know, or they appreciate older works, Cowboy Bebop still fits. It's still great. Still amazing. You can appreciate that art style, whether there's a bunch of flashing colors moving on the screen or not. And last but not least, on the honorable mentions list, I wouldn't say One Punch Man would be a good recommendation because it parodies anime, so you would have to know anime a little bit. But Mob Psycho is a great standalone story, and I'd say is even better than One Punch Man. Say it ain't so. I say it ain't so. Mob Psycho is a great mix of funny but heartfelt self-improvement, got that Hajime no Ippo vibe, but also crazy animation, and it's just a great story. And there's memorable characters like Mob, of course, and Reigen. It has action, it has sick animation, and just a heartfelt story it's relatable, even though the universe isn't relatable. The story, the plot is very relatable. And last but not least, the strongest recommendation, and I say this with full conviction on my heart, is Attack on Titan. This show is a masterpiece. People love to complain, and people barely complain about Attack on Titan. The only ones I've heard, even from the most hardcore anime watchers, is, okay, some people didn't like the ending. There's no way you're gonna like the ending in an apocalyptic situation like that. Like, we knew that we weren't gonna get a good ending from this, but I like the ending. And the only other minor things I heard was about changing anime studios and the way they split season 4 into like 5 different parts. But only the super heavy watching the anime in real time section of the fan base will really pay attention to that. Somebody who's just going into anime for the first time and watching Attack on Titan, no matter how you feel about the ending, they'll be amazed about what they saw. In retrospect, is nearly perfect. And anime fans, new or not, in the next 10 years, I'm calling it, we will get Attack on Titan live action, and it will have no choice but to be amazing. Count on it. Remember it. Remember this video. Remember this video, because best believe it's coming. Just don't go changing anything. Sorry for all the Last of Us Part 2 fans specifically, and the Avatar The Last Airbender fans, and Halo. You know, as a matter of fact, let's just ask the One Piece community to guide us through this one because they seem satisfied with what they got. Attack on Titan hits harder the second time you watch it, and that's a feeling that very few series can replicate. Political thriller, horror, suspense, apocalyptic stakes with 2 separate apocalypses going on in one show. And at the 3/4 mark, it all makes sense now. Wait, what did he say his plan was? It's genuinely split down the middle on who's right and who's wrong. And that's the terrifying part about it. The terrifyingly real part about it. There's no right answers. There's no winners. There's only consequences that have to be faced by the people that were born to face them. And the people, or the person, that won't let that slide, whether he's successful or not. I admit, people might have been able to see this coming as the strongest recommendation. But Attack on Titan might not just be the best anime of our generation, it might be the best story of our generation. I'm making this video out of pure sincerity because I've been watching anime as a kid and I know how great it is. So after a movie like that just came out and surpassed Superman, who I've been waiting to see in theaters for the longest, I have to give the absolute best recommendations. The surefire ones I know will work. The if you don't like that, then you don't like NBA basketball type beat. Anything I put my name on, I gotta have conviction. This may be biased for me to say, but I know that anime is a loaded art form, and ignoring it completely to rewatch the same stories we get out in the West is only hurting ourselves. It has way more genres than any one fan or any new fan can expect, even some casual fans can expect. slice of life, sports, mystery. There's nothing like Attack on Titan or a Studio Ghibli film or your best shonen of choice. Even the ones I said were bad first picks are still legendary animes that they will love. They just hit better once you've already gotten your footing. People can truly get invested in their favorite mangas, and sometimes that can deter people from getting into new fan bases or new people getting into anime at all. And like I said before, that only hurts ourselves. The final hurdle, the largest hurdle, the first hurdle for new people getting into anime are people that have already gotten into anime. But let's just focus on the fact that it's okay for people to have different styles, like different animes, and have different preferences, so we can fully embrace the new heights that Demon Slayer has brought us to. And not gonna lie, for all of you people who have been watching anime for your whole lives, me included, just know that Demon Slayer is about to get big after this. Massive, even more massive than normally large animes are massive. We're gonna see Tanjiro on cereal boxes, on random t-shirts in Walmart type massive. Now, will it be 2010's MCU type massive? I don't know. We'll just have to see. With that cultural familiarity comes better games, better movies, live actions, but also hate, because that's just what happens when something gets this popular. I look forward to anime's successful future in the West and across the globe, really, because I think we're witnessing a renaissance in global entertainment. And I look forward to where this takes all of us. So go out there, make your recommendations count, because it's only up from here. It's cool to watch anime now. Shout out to RDC. Hopefully by this point in the video, I convinced you to hit that subscribe button and that like button. It would really help the channel out a lot. And if you're watching this long, I guarantee you there's a whole bunch of more videos that I have for you. Even if you're part of the gaming community, you don't get into I have gaming videos on here. I'm making more gaming videos coming up. I'm gonna be discussing the original Pokemon movie. I've got a collab coming. I've got another collab coming with another creator about Zelda games, because she loves Zelda games. And of course, I got videos about the Pokemon games. For all my anime fans, I have a whole bunch of videos about Dandadan. I have another collab coming with Dandadan, about to be in my collab era. And of course, I already have a whole bunch of Dandadan videos up on the channel right now. And then double, of course, I am streaming on Twitch. And if you missed those streams on Twitch, which you shouldn't, hit the follow button so that you know. But on my second channel, I'm uploading all the VODs that I'm editing. They're edited videos. I'm not just uploading raw VODs on there. Not anymore. Not anymore. But if you ever see me missing from this channel, there's a good chance that I'm uploading 4 to 5 times a week on my second channel. So yeah, that was a lot. I dumped a lot on y'all. Please, please help a brother out. Just trying to achieve my dreams out here. Spread love, give inspiration. You achieve your dreams too. Spread love, give inspiration in all you do, and peace out.
Welcome to the Craig Show. Take 2.